Coming up on Mornings on the Hill, we are keeping an eye on Hurricane Ian, which is now tearing through Florida. We'll hear from a Florida resident impacted by the storm.
And Orange Central coming in just a few days here on campus. As we welcome back members of the Orange family, Mornings on the Hill starts right now.
Hurricane Ian is nearing Category 5 strength. Good morning, I'm Zach Richter.
And I'm Maddie Muschin, and that's our top story on this week's edition of Mornings on the Hill.
Our top story this hour, Hurricane Ian is hitting South Florida as we speak.
Our Mornings on the Hill reporter, Michael Villegas, joins us live in the studio with the latest. Michael?
Hurricane Ian is currently hitting the southwest Florida with winds up to 155 miles per hour, just shy of becoming a Category 5 hurricane. I was able to speak with South Florida resident Daniel Maggio to ask him about his experience.
I know overnight last night it got a little bit scary. There was some tornadoes not too far from my house. There was an executive airport that got hit with a couple tornadoes, and it actually flipped over a few airplanes. So there's been some impact, but so far it's been okay.
While those in South Florida are getting hit now, some in North Florida are preparing for the storms. Florida State student Michaela Flores is worried about her family in Central Florida.
I know that this one's going to be a little tricky for them because this is it's coming directly towards Central Florida. I know that we've gone through some really major hurricanes before, but considering that they're alone for this one, it worries me just a little bit.
Hurricane Ian is expected to move up the west coast of Florida and towards Georgia in the coming days. For Mornings on the Hill, I'm Michael Villegas. Back to you.
Thanks, Michael. Now turning to the weather today, when I came into the studio, it was very chilly and rainy. Really was not nice outside.
Yeah, I was out there about an hour, 30 minutes ago, but it looks like the rain is letting up, and our Mornings on the Hill report weather anchor, Jayla Pettis, joins us live on the patio with more. Jayla?
Thank you, Maddie. It was showers not too long ago, but the downpour is coming with the rain. Hurricane Ian has strengthened to a Category 4 hurricane and is set to impact Florida later on this afternoon. It's too late to evacuate the state, but if you have family and friends in the area, let them know to take shelter as soon as possible. Now I will give you an overview of the forecast for today. Of course, it showers, a current high of 59 degrees. It feels like roughly 67, 90% humidity. 52 degrees for the dew point, 8 miles per hour wind speed, 10 miles of visibility, and a barometer at 30. I'll have your 5-day forecast later on, live from the Newhouse patio. Jayla Pettis, Mornings on the Hill.
Thanks, Jayla. We're also following another hurricane this morning, Hurricane Fiona. The storm has affected a countless number of people, including some of our fellow students. Mornings on the Hill reporter Elena Locido is live in studio this morning with more. Elena?
The devastation from Hurricane Fiona is still impacting communities in Puerto Rico. I'm sitting here with Fatima Bings, who's from Puerto Rico and whose family is currently on the island. Fatima, what damage has this hurricane left back home in Puerto Rico?
So the island has more than 50% of destruction. There's a lot of animals with shelter. They're still out of power, still out of water, and there continues to be a lot of backlashes and aftermath devastations.
And what impact did this have on your family? How are they doing?
So my family, thank God, they're doing good. My sister is still without access to school, no work, no power, no clean water, and there continues to be a lot of disorientation and misinformation.
And Hurricane Maria hit only 5 years ago. Was the island prepared for a storm this severe?
I feel like the island has never been prepared for any of these natural disasters. It's also due to the misinformation the government has with the citizens of the island, and we continue to be unprepared without the resources.
And what can people do to help?
People can donate, create awareness, talk to a friend, ask around. By the way, I'm actually traveling to Puerto Rico next weekend to help donate and help other devastated areas.
All right, well, thank you so much for speaking with me. I know we are all thinking of you and your family and hope they continue to stay safe.
Thank
Maddie?
you.
Thank you, Elena. Right now in Moscow, the U.S. Embassy issued a security alert overnight urging the U.S. citizens to leave Russia. This comes as Russian President Vladimir Putin is ordering partial mobilization of Russian men to fight in the Ukraine. The embassy says Russia may refuse to acknowledge dual citizenship and deny their access to the U.S. They could also conscript American dual citizens in Russia for military service. The embassy says Americans should leave Russia immediately. Winter is right around the corner, and downtown parking is what the city is focusing on. Mornings on the Hill reporter Micah Prine-Goldstein joins us live with more on Syracuse's plan to fix the parking problem. Micah?
Thank you, Maddie. Syracuse has begun a haul of installing new parking meters throughout the city. Syracuse's Chief Operating Officer, Corey Driscoll-Dunham, says that she is glad people are noticing the new parking facilities. Drivers in Syracuse can rejoice as 75 new parking signals have been installed and 75 more are expected by December. The new parking signals found around the city hope to clean up the city's issues with coins in the meters. I spoke with local resident Alex Sokolowski to get his thoughts on what the city is doing with the new parking meters and spaces.
I think any additional parking is going to be a huge asset for the city. So if they're adding more spaces, I think it's going to be an improvement one way or another. I think overall the system in place now works, but I mean, it could always be improved.
Another resident, Gina Lieglauser, voiced her support for the Flowbird technology as opposed to the old seen here.
I mean, this is a familiar, this technology is not that hard to use. Especially, I don't carry that much money, so just using my credit card is appropriate.
As Lieglauser mentioned, she does not carry much money, and the old parking meters were a hassle to use. The new meters found throughout the city are much like the ones over here and value card over phone. The meter on Marshall Street allows the user to track their phone and use. Syracuse chose this project to focus on after problems arose in 2021. Numerous parking meters stopped working or charged users the wrong amount, and Mayor Ben Walsh says the city is well aware of it. For Mornings on the Hill, I'm Micah Prine-Goldstein. Back to you.
Thanks, Micah. The Syracuse University campus will soon be the scene of a great reunion. Orange Central Sports starts tomorrow. It's an annual event of SU Hill involving a number of welcome back events, seminars, and discussions. It's also when the university hands out the Era Events Award to some of our well-known alums. For Newhouse students, there is breakfast with the dean Saturday morning. For a full listing of Orange Central events, check out the website qscommunity.syr.edu.
Coming up on Mornings on the Hill, the rain may go away, but it will be back another day. Our weather reporter Jayla Pettis will be live in studio to tell us more.
Plus, where to get your vaccines and how SU is celebrating LGBTQ History Month. Right after the break. Welcome back to Mornings on the Hill. The new COVID-19 boosters are here, and people have questions about what they are eligible for and when.
Mornings on the Hill reporter Jeremy Lynch joins us live from the Barnes Center with more. Jeremy?
Thank you, Maddie. With COVID-19 having a medium community spread out the county and flu season on its way here, students can get prepared for this upcoming season of diseases by getting their updated and their flu shot as well. It is time for cold and flu season here at Syracuse University. Many people are not aware what vaccines they will be eligible for this fall. So people are asking who's eligible for a booster, who's eligible to get a flu shot, and even if they're allowed to get the COVID-19 booster and the flu shot at the same time. For many new students, Syracuse University mandated that every student get the flu vaccine last year. Nathaniel Ahart is a current graduate student at Syracuse University, and while he's on the fence of whether or not there should be a flu shot mandate, he does believe everyone should get it regardless.
I still feel like flu shot is something that you have to get every season. You have to protect yourself first and foremost. And so, yeah, I definitely think that it's a good idea to just get it done, get it out of the way, keep yourself safe, keep others safe.
People are able to get their booster and their flu shot at the same time at Wegmans or any pharmacy in the Syracuse area. For those students who want a booster shot, they will be eligible 2 months after their most recent vaccination. These updated Omicron COVID-19 boosters are only available for Moderna and Pfizer, so make sure to confirm with the pharmacy which vaccine you will be getting. Make sure you can get your booster. For Mornings on the Hill, reporting live from the Barnes Center, I'm Jeremy Lynch.
Thanks, Jeremy. Now, time to check the weather today. When I came into what I was saying, it was really not nice outside today, but I hope it's going to get better today.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to get better today and then looking forward. But our Jayla Pettis joins us in the studio with a look at our full weather forecast.
Thank you, Zach and Maddie. Today it was cold, it was raining, and a little bit earlier it was drizzling and then the rain started pouring. So let's have a look at the records for today. The high will be 56 degrees. There's a low of 47, the average high 67 degrees, and a low of 48. And as you can see, we're nowhere near the record high, but we'll keep an update on it. Let's head over to the regional temperatures for the area. As you can see, 54 degrees for Buffalo, Rochester is 54, Fulton 56, Watertown 54 degrees, Syracuse is at a high of 57, Elmira 55, Binghamton 55, Rome 56 degrees, Glens Falls 57 degrees, and then Albany 58 degrees. And now for the hourly temperatures, as you can see, at 1 p.m. it'll be 56 degrees, and then it'll go to 50 high, dip down later in the afternoon and evening to 51. And the low at 3 a.m. will be in the high 49s, and then as we approach tomorrow, it'll head up to a high of 58 degrees around 3 p.m. And then here's a look at the 5-day planner. Thursday, there's a 10% chance of rain, a high of 58, a low of 38. Friday, 0% chance of rain, and then 65 degrees, 46. Saturday, 68 degrees for the high, 51 for the low. Sunday, 10% chance of rain with 67 for the high, and then on Monday, 10% chance of rain, and then a 64 degrees for the high. Back over to you, Zach and Maddie.
Thanks, Jayla. October 1st marks the start of the LGBTQ plus History Month on campus. The LGBTQ Resource Center will kick off on Monday, October 3rd, with events throughout the day. They will also be hosting guest speakers and more activities for students throughout the month. You can find a full list of events on the LGBTQ Resource Center calendar.
Coming up on Mornings on the Hill, Sydney Staples will be teaching us a few tricks.
And Sammy St. Jean will recap a full weekend of Syracuse soccer. All that and more after the break.
Two corners and 4 shots in the last 90 seconds of the game. But the Orange returned home and beat Dartmouth in a convincing 6-0 win just 2 days later. They are undefeated when at home this season. And for the first time since 2018, Syracuse football is 4-0. Kicker Andre Schmidt kicked the game-winning field goal with under a minute and a half to play to beat the Hoos 22-20. He went 5 for 5 from field goal range. And Sean Talker was not pleased with his individual performance, but head coach Dino Babers has to be pleased with being 2-0 in the ACC for the first time since joining it. Let's cross our fingers that College Game Day makes its way to Q soon to celebrate it. Women's ice hockey lost their season opener to 6th-ranked Colgate on Saturday, but don't worry, there is plenty more hockey to come over the next few months. Let's kick it to our Sammy St. Jean to tell you about how both men's and women's soccer did over the weekend.
Picking things up at SU Soccer Stadium with Chelsea DeMond gets the pass, beats the defender, and then goes far post for an SU lead early. Moving on to the 73rd minute, Miami equalized, but Ashley Rouse did not let the deadlock continue in the 82nd. Chelsea DeMond plays her into space, notices the tall keeper, and goes below her arm for the lead. It would be Blue Ellis to seal the deal in the 90th minute, grabbing DeMond her 5th assist. Syracuse picks up their first win in ACC play since October 29, 2020, and that feeling, after the wait, was extra special.
We all couldn't be happier. We're going to celebrate and move on and work towards the next one.
Head coach Nikki Adams was ecstatic about the win, and she promised a gritty, in-your-face SU side for the rest of ACC play. You flip over to the men's side, they welcomed UVA to SU Soccer Stadium on Saturday night, and it was a battle, but a battle with a very quick whistle. You saw 27 fouls and 10 bookings over the course of 90 minutes.
It would be an 8th minute caution turning into a 22nd minute nightmare. Giorgio Kaczewski was shown his second yellow and ultimately a red card. After 61 minutes playing a man down, Leo Alfonso would snag the Cavaliers a lead and hand SU their first loss of the season. Given the situation, though, everyone on the SU side was very proud of their effort.
Yeah, I think just overall, we matched their physicality, but when you're one man down, it's always hard.
Number 3 to number 7. Their effort was enough to stay in the top 10, unlike ACC rival Clemson. They hosted number 1 Wake Forest, who solidified themselves as the favorite, beating the defending champs 6-1. After a trip to Virginia Tech on Friday, the Orange will host Cornell before the Demon Deacons come to SU Soccer Stadium. For Mornings on the Hill, Sammy St. Jean. Now, outside to Sydney Staples.
Thanks, Sammy. I'm going to teach you how to juggle, my favorite part of soccer. So first and foremost, I'm not talking about the juggling that's 3 balls in your hand like this. I'm talking with your feet. Something to keep in mind, toes pointed up is going to have the ball with backspin. Toes pointed down is just going to kick it right at the camera. So it's important to keep your foot level as best as possible and to lock this ankle. You don't want it to be flat. What you start by doing is when you're first learning, hold it in your hand, kick it back up to yourself. You want to keep it about waist height, maybe a little bit higher if this is your first time. Once you get 1 really good, go to 2, and then even more.
Sydney, thank you so much. Still to come here on Mornings on the Hill, the Super Bowl halftime show performer has been announced. Who is it and why some are upset? We'll be back in just 2 minutes.
This weekend, I was able to cover one of Syracuse's long-awaited events. The event provided all sorts of entertainment for the community, and I was able to gain some insight from several community members.
The Westcott Street Cultural Fair brought many people together this past Sunday, providing activities for everyone to enjoy, including live music, food, and of course, plenty of shopping opportunities. It was the perfect occasion to sit back, relax, and enjoy time with loved ones, including furry friends. One local dog rescue knows just how special pets are.
Our organization is called Recyclable Bully Breed Rescue, and what we do is take in animals, specifically bully breed dogs from the community, whether they come from a shelter or from an owner's surrender, and we rehabilitate them and rehome them.
The rescue is open to donations and potential fosters. There were several other organizations at the fair encouraging members to get involved, including the Salt City Roller Derby, the first and only roller derby league in Syracuse.
We're a growing league. We rebuilt pretty successfully after COVID, so we're working on scheduling games and just kind of becoming a bigger and more active organization in the Syracuse area and beyond.
A common theme at the fair was sustainable shopping. Several vendors recycled materials to prevent waste output.
I take reclaimed fabric, so it's new, unused fabric that's destined for a landfill, and turn them into useful things like tote bags, pet accessories, pillow covers, and save it from going to the landfill because the U.S. sends 17 million tons of fabric to the landfill every year.
The fair provided individuals with a relaxing atmosphere as well as great ways to become closer to the community.
Since I did attend the fair as not only a journalist but a member of the Syracuse community, I really appreciate the wide variety of activities provided for everyone. In national entertainment news, it's been announced this weekend that Rihanna will be performing at the Super Bowl. This may be foreshadowing a new album for the singer after a 6-year break. However, some fans are angry about this decision. Many were pushing for this year's performer to be Taylor Swift, since she's come out with several new albums and content. Currently, no guest performers for Rihanna have been announced, leading many to believe that this could be a solo performance. The Milan Fashion Week was in full swing the past week, starting September 20th and lasting until the 25th. Paris Hilton sported her traditional glittery Barbie pink color in a veiled dress set. Bella Hadid channeled her gothic side in a similar violet set. Gigi Hadid looked to be wearing a hoodie dress of some sort. She really channeled my energy when I have to wake up at 6 a.m. every Wednesday. Overall, the Fashion Week unveiled many new and unique styles from different designers. Reporting live in studio, I'm Isabel Flores with Mornings on the Hill.
So Isabel, going back to that Rihanna story, can you talk about who other their entertainers might be? Have you heard anything?
I actually haven't heard anything. Some people, again, like I said, really want it to be Taylor Swift. I definitely agree. She's put out a lot of content. I heard you talking about that earlier too.
Yes, I was very upset, but I love Rihanna, so I'll definitely watch.
Yeah, it's going to be a good show for sure.
Well, that is going to do it for us on this Wednesday here on Mornings on the Hill. I'm Zach Richter. Make sure to follow us on social media.
And I'm Maddie Muschin. Thanks for watching Orange Nation. We'll see you next Wednesday live at 10 a.m. right here on OTN.